tutorial, we will learn how to create a test in Blackboard and how to upload the questions. So there is two ways to create questions in a test in Blackboard. The first method is to upload questions using a specific format, TXT, or you can create the questions directly from Blackboard. So we will start with the first method, which is uploading the questions. Let's say you have a Word file or Excel sheet. If you have a Word file or document, you need to copy the questions to Excel and you're gonna save it as a specific format. So in the first column, we're gonna add a specific format for each question, such as MC for multiple choice, ESS for essay, TF for true or false, and don't just add a tab or space after any format. In column B, we will add the questions, also without any space or tab. In column C, we will add the correct answers. Make sure to add the correct answer in column C. It has to be in column C. Column D will be for each question, such as true or false. The correct answer for this is false, and the incorrect answer is true. For multiple choice, as you see here, A is the correct answer. In D, we need to write it's the correct answer. B is incorrect answer, and in F, we're gonna categorize it as incorrect, and so on. So in multiple choice, if you add the answers without adding correct or incorrect, the system will not let you upload the questions properly. So make sure to add correct or incorrect in multiple choice. If you are creating essay or short essay, you're gonna keep column C empty for the student so they can fill it up as an essay or as a paragraph. So we have 17 type of questions in Blackboard. Each will have a specific format, and you have a guide. You can review each format for each question and how to do it. So the next step, after you're gonna customize this folder, you need to go to File, Save As, and save the format using tab delimited text. It has to be this format to be uploaded in Blackboard, and then you're gonna click Save. Since I have it in my desktop, I will upload it directly. So in your Blackboard course, first of all, you will reach Course Tools, and then you will navigate to Test Survey and Pools. From here, we will create a new test so we can upload our questions. Build a test. Let's name the test. You can also add a description for the test and instructions. These two will appear for the student before they begin the exam, and then we will submit. So from here, we created a test named test name, and then we need to upload the questions or create it directly from Blackboard. So we need to upload the question from here, and then you're gonna browse your TXT format, which is this one, and then this is only estimated point or grade for each question that you can adjust later, and then click Submit. As you see here, smoothly all my questions are uploaded. So in this method, if you upload questions, you cannot upload questions with specific settings. So after the uploading, you need to adjust the settings for each question type. So for example, if you want to change the order of the questions, you can just drag and drop the questions, such as like that. And then you will adjust the settings for each question, such as going to this gray arrow at the next of each question and click Edit. So from here, as you see, you will see the information of the question, such as you can add the question or modify the question from here. You can choose whether you want it 1, 2, 3 or ABC, answering number, vertical or not, But let's say you want the multiple options to show answers in random order for each student. If you want to activate the answer in random order, make sure to keep the answering number none to not confuse the student. So if you keep it, for example, ABC, and you keep it randomized, some student will have B as a first answer, which is confusing. So just keep it none. And from here you can see the correct answer with this blue circle. And you can review everything. And in the feedback, if you want to add a feedback for the student who choose the correct answer or incorrect answer, this is optional. For categories and keywords, this is for you, for your question pool, so you can get back to certain or specific questions based on a specific category. You can add notes here for yourself. It will not be available for the student. And finally, you can submit. So you need to adjust a specific settings for each question. Another question here for true or false. You can just click edit. And as you see, false is the true or the correct answer, feedback, and the same settings for all of them, and we will click submit. So now we uploaded the questions, we edit the settings for each question, and I need to change the point or the grade for each question. If you want to keep all the questions having the same grade, you can add it directly from here. So let's say I want all the questions to be graded by 5 points. You can just update. You can just click the questions that you want it to be with 5, for example, these two, and then you can update. As you see here, or you can do it manually by clicking this arrow and add the grade that you want. So this is how you upload questions. The next thing is if you want to create question directly from Blackboard. From here, create question. As you see here, you have multiple options to create the question. Okay, so let's say you want to create a multiple choice with a text question and the answer you want them as images. First, you need to edit some settings in the question from here. Make sure to activate add images files in the web link and then click submit. From create question, navigate to multiple choice. We will add the question here. And then, as you see here, there is a new option available for you to upload image as answer. So we will choose the first image and we will choose the second image. Make sure to choose a display image within the page, because the default option, as you see here, is to create a link to the media file. This will make the student click a link to open the image, while if you choose display image within the page, they will see it directly from the Blackboard test without opening another link. Answer 1 and answer 2. So you need to add also just a brief text or anything to add it. You cannot add only the image. It will not allow you to receive an error if you keep it only the image. So you can add any description of the image or even 1 or 2, and then we'll submit. Another type of question, let's say you want to upload X-ray or image and you want the student to focus or submit a particular area of this image as an answer. So this is the question, for example. You will upload the image in here that you want the student to define particular area using a hotspot type of questions, and then we will go to next. Okay, so this is the full image. you need to define from your side where is the range of the correct answer. So let's say the correct answer is in this area. So you just need to drag and drop a range. So the student, if any student will pick a part within this area, this will be accounted as a correct answer, while anything outside of this area will be the incorrect answer. We will see it in a while as a student perspective, and then submit. One more type of question is file response. In file response, student is allowed to upload a document from their side. They can upload the answer. And also in this option you can add a rubric. At the end of the video you will see how we're going to create a rubric. If you create it, you can select a rubric that you created in advance. As you see here, I have rubric 1, rubric 2, and then submit. So the student can read the rubric of the question and then they can upload the answer. When it comes to uploading, or if you want them to write a text directly, if it's a long text you can use essay. If it's a short text within 6 lines, you can use short answer, question type. Or if you want them to upload something, they can write it offline with a Word document and they can upload it online within the time of the test, and then submit. So now we will see these type of questions from a student preview, just to let you have an idea about it. So from here, as a student preview, the first question is upload the answer. As you see here, student can directly upload the answer from here, browse my computer, and they can find the document they want to upload for you. From here, these are the answers, a multiple choice question, and the answers as images. The description will display here for each image. They can choose and see it directly within the Blackboard. Finally, choosing the area. So if you remember, we defined this is the correct area. It's invisible for the student. So let's say I will choose the incorrect answer. So the student will click, as you see, this mark. If this mark will be within the area that we define, it will count as a correct answer. But now in this situation it's incorrect answer, and if the student want to change their mind, they can clear it from here and they can answer again. So now we're going to see how we can create a pool. From course tools, we're going to navigate to test, surveys, and pools. So when we're going to use the pool, you can create a pool, and if you create a test later, you can find questions from this pool or set of questions. So we will create first the pool from here. You can either build a new pool or import a pool. So let's build a new pool. So this is the name of the pool and the description. Again, we can upload the questions like the method that we explained, and we can create questions directly in the pool, and we can find questions from previous pools. So let's say we will upload the questions. I will upload the previous file that we have before. So as you see here, after I upload the questions, it will appear here. Each question will have a default point with the 0. It's the same, you can edit it manually from here, or you can just add a point here with 5 and select the questions with 5, and you can update as you see here. So I will go back to our test so we can see how we can use the pool. So now from reuse questions, you have 3 options. The first option is to find questions from existing pool. So if I click find questions, there is a different categories here. If you see categories, when you create each question, you remember you can add category of level of difficulty or by topics. These categories you can add it at the setting of each question. And the test, you can find all the tests in this course, all the created tests in this course, and the polls, we created only one poll. So I will click this poll, it will give me the questions of the poll. I can choose, I want to find or bring 3 questions to my exam from this specific poll. There is 2 options here. Do you want to link the original question or do you want a copy? The difference between them, if I copy, select the question. So as you see here, these are the questions that I brought from my pool. But if I edit any question from here, so let's say I will add these 3 question marks. These changes will appear only in the test, in the specific test, while in the pool, as you see here, it's not changing. Why? Because I copy selected the question, but if I linked the original question and I made some modification on the settings, it will reflect on the questions in the pool, even if you delete a question. So this is how you can find questions with the poll. We have also another option to create question set or random block. So in order to create a question set, you will navigate also to the page where you can see the polls, the test. You can choose questions from different polls and different tests. So let's say I want also questions from these tests. Now I am choosing 4 questions as a question set. After you submit, you will see here we are having 4 questions. The total questions is 4 and the number of questions to display 2. That means I have 4 questions and I want 2 of them to appear for each student randomly. So student 1 will have this question and this question. Student 2 will have this question and this question randomly. So this is the benefit of using question set. Now we will create a random block. As you see here, you can choose first the poll and then what type of questions we want to extract. So let's say I want only all these 4 questions and then submit. As you see here, the total number of questions is 4. The number displayed for each student, 2 or 4 or even 3 questions. 3 questions meaning for each student will have 3 different random questions. Okay, so maybe you will ask me, what is the major difference between question set and random block? You can manually choose questions from question set from other tests and other polls, while in random block you can choose only from polls. You cannot choose questions from another test, meaning you cannot find questions in random block if you don't have a poll, while you can choose from other tests and polls within question set. Another different, you can delete questions from question set like that, right directly from here, remove the question, while in the random block you cannot delete from here. You need to delete the questions from the original poll that you find this question in. And finally, in the question set and random block, the points per question is unified. I mean, you cannot change a grade for each question in the set. So if you add 5 here, it means all these 4 questions will be having 5. If you want to set a grade for each question, you need to add it manually from here or individually from here, or you can upload the set of the questions. So this is the main difference between the random block and the poll. Okay, so let's see this from a student preview. I have two questions here. I want only one question to appear for each student. So we have two questions and I want the student to see one question randomly for each form. So I will click OK. I will switch to a student preview, or I will begin the test so we can see that I will be having only one question, not two, randomly. So I had only question one. There is also another easier way to create questions, not only from this menu. You can click this plus as add a question. You can choose the format or what type of questions you want, and then you can proceed with creation. Also, one more thing related to the pools. If you go to the pools, you can download or export the pool to your desktop if you want to use it in another course. So I downloaded it as a zip file. I will navigate to another course that I'm teaching. So this is another course that I want to upload my created pool in. We will navigate to test surveys and pools, and then we'll click pools and we will import the pool. Browse my computer and you can find it and submit. So as you see here, I have the pool. I can reuse it again and I can edit it and I can see my questions. Also, you can do the same with the test. You can download a specific test and upload it to a different course. So navigate to test surveys and pools, click test. So you will see the list of the test in this course. You can simply just click the right green arrow and click export to local computer. And then you will go again to another course that you're teaching. And then we can import it directly, the same from test pools and surveys. So as you see here, import test, and you can browse your computer and import the test directly. So the conclusion, we can import and export pools and tests from different courses and reuse them again. Now we will see how we can deploy this test for the student. From the learning material, we will go to assessment and then we will create a test. In here, these are the tests that I created before that I want to deploy for my student. So for example, this is my test. So this one, and then I will submit. From here, I will see the link. I want to show the test description to the student before they begin, and also the instructions. Keep it no, don't let the student open the exam in another window. Keep them taking the exam directly from Blackboard. Make sure to make the test available for the student. This option means that the test will be available within a specific duration. So this exam will start from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and it will be available for the student. So make sure to keep it available. Otherwise, if you didn't make it available for the student, it will not show even if you set a certain start time. Add an announcement for the student. You can click yes, they will receive an announcement through their calendar to their email. Multiple attempts. Let's say you want the student to take the exam multiple times, and you can see it in the grade center. So if a student will take the test unlimited attempts or a certain number, 3 or 2, you can see it directly and you can read each answer of each attempt in the grade center. But when it comes to midterms or final exams, you can just keep it off. That means each student will have only one attempt in the exam. Forced completion, we actually don't recommend you to use forced completion, because if you activate this settings, If the students start the exam and for any reason they will have internet corruption, or they had to leave the system or log off, or any reason that will kick them out of the test, forced completion will not let them come back to the test. So if you don't activate it, student can come back to the test after they will have any technical issues, and the timer will keep going and running even if they are going out of the test. So let's say I have 60 minutes and I need to activate auto submit. Auto submit means if the 60 minutes pass, even if the student is not done with answering the questions, the system will auto submit the exam. And in the grade center you can see how many answers the student submitted. Adding password is optional also. You can add a password, you can write it here and provide it to your student. They cannot begin the test without password. Add user or group if you want to specify this test to a specific group, if you have created groups in this course, or even for specific users. A due date. Any student will join after 1:15. You will see a specific icon in the grade center will inform you that this student is accessing or beginning the test in a late time. If you activate don't allow student to start the test if the due date had passed, that means any student will access the test after 1:15. They cannot start the exam. So they will receive a message telling them, sorry, you cannot begin the test because you passed the due date time. So if you want them to access late and you can see it in the log file, keep it that way. If you don't want them to access the test at all, just activate the do not allow student to start. Finally, keep this as default. Do you want the student to take the questions all at once in one page, or do you want it one at a time, such as by sequence, the first 3 questions and then they will go next 3 questions and so on? And also you can forbid backtracking. That means the student, when they answer the first 3 questions, they cannot go back. They have only to keep moving until they will submit the exam. Randomized questions will let you have a different version of the test, different order of the exam. So we can randomize answer for each question, and we can randomize the questions in each test, and then you can submit. So now the exam will be available for the student. So now I will flip to a student preview. As you see, Ahmed Bedr here, for example. I will reach my course as a student, go to learning material, and I will see my exams. So let's say that I passed the due date and I am late, and you activate the student cannot access the test. If you see, I will click begin. I will receive a message that this test cannot be completed because the due date has passed. But if I came on time, I can simply just read the instructions and begin the test from here. So as you see here, the test information will be available, and this timer will remain with me all the time, reminding me of the countdown, and I will start answering the questions and going to the next question. As you see here, I can save my answers, or I can just go to the next question. So if you forbid backwards, the student cannot go back to the previous question, and so on until I submit the question. So let's say I didn't complete answering the questions and the timer is done. This is the auto submit option. It will submit the test directly even if the student didn't complete the answer. And this is for example of the essay or short answer text box. So yeah, this is how the student will take and submit the exam. So if I leave the exam and the option you didn't activate the forced completion for any reason, I left, and I can return and continue my exam. As you see here, the timer will continue even if I'm leaving. It will never be paused. It will keep running all the time, and it will get me to the question that I stopped before my internet corruption. That's why we always recommend not to active forced completion. So after submission, going back to the instructor preview, we will see here going to the grade center. From grade center, you will navigate Fold Grade Center. So as you see here in the grade center, you will be having your student name as a list and the total grade of the exams, and in here you will see the name of each test that you have. If you see this blue grade, that means your exam includes all autocorrect question types such as multiple choice. But if you have essay, you need to grade it manually. You will see this option. You just need simply to click attempt, so you can grade it manually. Even you can preview it for multiple choice, like this one. You can preview it, you can grade it directly by adding the point in here, and you can read the test information for each student in here, which will give you details about the duration of the student of accessing the exam, such as the total attempt points, time, and started date, specific time, and if the student is late, you will see an icon here informing you that the student is late. You can access the log to read more details about the student spending time, how many time the student spent in each question, and whether he saved or not, and what time exactly the student submitted or the system submitted the test. Clearing attempt, you can use this option if the student had a very massive technical issue that let him cannot come back to the test, even if it's not available. So in that case, if you clear the attempt for any student, you will clear all the grade or the answers that he created. So he will start the test from scratch. In fact, you can navigate to the next student directly from here. You don't have to leave. It will give you a jump in to the next student, so you can grade it directly. Going back to the grade center, so let's say I don't want my student to preview their grade after submission directly from their side. You can just simply go to the test and you can choose hide from the student. So if you choose hide from the student, you will see this red arrow. That you can do this step after the creation before deploying the test for the student. So you can forbid any student to see the grade after submission directly, especially if it's auto graded. And also you can hide some columns. You can manage and add more columns such as the average, total, maximum, minimum, and weight. You can create columns based on your requirement. You can generate certain reports from the grade center, and you can work offline by downloading the grade center, and also you can download a report with certain columns such as the student name and a specific questions test grade. Also one more thing in the grade center, if your student started the exam now, you can go to the grade center and see if you see this green cell, That means the student is taking the exam now in a real time. And if they are done, you will see that they're done and you can clear the attempt or see the grade directly. But if you see this blue circle, that means the student is in progress taking the exam. So while taking the exam, you can navigate to the grade center and see who started and who didn't started. Maybe they're facing issues or something. So if I click the gray arrow and I click attempt, I can see here that this attempt is currently in progress. So the student is currently taking the exam. So if the student is facing any issue or he couldn't come back to the exam, you can directly clear the attempt from here. It will give them another chance to start from scratch. So as you see here, the progress disappeared and the student can begin the exam again. So one more thing I would like to add is you can attach a rubric inside a question or inside essay or short answer. From here, course tools, you can see the rubric here. So you can create a rubric from here. You will add the name of the rubric, and from here you can design your rubric. It's easy. You can choose the rubric type, whether it's point, percentage, and you can edit the criteria from here, such as the English, for example. And you can add the point here. You can add the description for each criteria from here. You can also drag and drop and edit as you want. And you can also delete a specific row or a specific column, and you can add row or add column from here. So once you submit it and save it, you will see here multiple rubrics that you can upload for each test while in the creation phase.